All right, we're about to head out on a run. It's officially 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius, and I'm triple layered up on my torso. This is unusual for Texas. I know y'all up north are like, whatever, dude. But we did a little bit of video footage along the way, and also the pool is going to be closed. Scratching off? Come on, let's go here. The pool is going to be closed for the next, half a week. 4 or 5 days. So there's gonna be a whole lot of running going on in its place and biking, and so because of that, I'm not gonna do the full half marathon that I've usually been doing on the weekends. I'm gonna cut it short at like 9 or 10 miles. And yeah, I got double gloves, double socks. I'm even wearing a neck gaiter, which I never wear, just in case. It's really windy. It's 15 to 20 to 25 miles an hour, and the problem is running into the wind. With the wind, it's fantastic, and into the wind, it's going to get cold. So the other thing, also, I've got a string backpack on. You can see the strings right there, and I overdress at the beginning, and then I can just dump it in the string backpack as we go along. All right, let's see what happens. All right, we are just a couple miles in. And I'm trying to run east and west so that, because the wind's coming from that way. And then I notice when I get out of these trees that are blocking the wind, man, it is brutal running into that headwind. And that's when I pulled the neck gaiter up. Haven't shed any layers yet, which is impressive. And then also I wanted to mention real quick, two other things is I'm wearing a Smart Wool beanie cap, which I've got this other one I really like to wear, but then it holds on the water, and this one doesn't, which is nice, so it doesn't get cold. I'm wearing a cotton t-shirt. I'm wearing Under Armour, and then a cotton t-shirt, and then a running vest. And then also I'm doing the dual watch thing again, because one of them, can you see that? There we go. One of them I've got set to never stop, to never pause, and one to auto pause. And yeah, there's a field that'll tell you your total elapsed time, but it won't tell you your total elapsed distance if you've got auto pause turned on. So I'm running 2, so I get the total distance, so I know how far I've run. Because with him stopping all the time, I don't want to count the stopped time as running time, so I want the auto pause, but then it loses the accuracy on the distance big time, like a video I made last week. All right, we got to keep going. All right. We are walking a little bit of an uphill. For ultra running, if you're a normal human, look how rough this is. This gravel's all busted up. I freaking love it. You learn to run really long distances. You walk the uphills and use those walking sessions, or if you happen to be running the downhills, to fuel. It also gives the legs a break. And you're not much faster running uphill anyway, if at all. And then it is a lot more effort to run uphill than it is to walk. And then it uses different muscles, so it's really good. And the other thing I wanted to mention was this little section of road. This is rough, man. I try running this at night. It's crazy. It's just right around the corner from my house. And it's this, I'd say it's about half a mile each way. Oh, there's a squirrel. And maybe 3/4 mile, probably half a mile. And I would never think about going down it except to go exploring. Got a little pond right here. And yeah, a nice little advocation for go exploring around, and you'll find cool stuff, because you don't want to get into trail running and never run trails or gravel or really rough stuff. It's really good. All right, we got to start running. And this option with the little picture doesn't have stability control, so I can't run and have this at the same time. So let's go. You ready? Let's go. All right, we just had a funny incident. River just snagged some food that somebody had thrown on the ground over here, and I wanted to make another little comment about what we're actually doing today. Is there's a 5 Freddy's or whatever it is bag over here, and then some trash over here and over here. And I was about to break out the camera and say he's checking it out because there's coyotes that have probably eaten on it, and he's checking out the sniffs and stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm yelling, no, because he's running off with a hamburger patty in his mouth, or a bun. I saw the bun. But anyway, okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. Oh man. So let's go. And then also real quick, what I'm actually training for nowadays is a backyard ultra. And that's also why the little bit of walking and stuff mixed in is good training, because it gives you time to keep adding fuel, because you're going to be going a long way, so you actually need to fuel. So you need to practice like all the methodology, you know, what works, what doesn't. And then another thing, we'll catch up a little bit. The wind's kind of going sort of that way. It's going between that way and that way. It's kind of coming from those trees over there, and I got to run back. I'm running down this road and then running around a subdivision and then running back. And the running back is gonna suck, because I'm kind of running a 45-degree angle into this headwind. It's gonna be really cold. And we'll see somebody walking over here. I'll park it up. It doesn't look cold because it's sunny. But running back along the sidewalk with that tree line on my left side will make the way back not as cold. It's shielding me from the wind. And my point being, you can really enhance your runs by looking at the wind direction, hot or cold days, and maximizing where you run based on the wind in the summer, especially for cooling effect. All right, we'll be back. 5 miles in? Yeah, 5 miles in. All right, we are about to head with the wind for quite a ways that way, and it's gonna get hot considering how much I'm wearing a lot of double stuff. So I wanted to show you real quick the string backpack that's actually mesh, so it doesn't trap a lot of heat on my back. And in it, I got a water bladder. Check that out. And it's down low, so center of gravity is nice and low. We get to the end of this road, and I turn around and come back. Well, this is going in it now, so I don't get overheated into the backpack. But I wanted to show you these. When I get down to the end of the road, I'm gonna fill up these with the water that's in there, because I still got half of one left. They're just offing right now for a demonstration. And we get turned around and come back. It's gonna be super cold. So while I am filling up the water, I'm gonna take these back out and then seal myself back up for headed back into the cold wind. All right, you ready? I like running on this dirt. It's fun. Good training. All right, bang. One thing I remembered, like, you may be asking, why in the world would you be, just keep the layers on, you know? Even if you overheat a little bit, it's still freezing outside. Well, the problem is, you want to shed layers, because if you start getting hot and start building up sweat, there's a hidden problem much later on during the run that a lot of people haven't thought about, and I've seen it happen to one of my good friends. And you build up sweat, your clothes end up getting wet, you know, from sweat. And that's actually not that much of a problem, because you'll still keep generating heat and stay warm, right, every time you're running. But what happens is mile 60 or whatever mile where you blow up And you have to start walking a lot more. And in ultramarathons, usually ends up being at night, because that's by the time you start getting really tired. Well, walking, you don't generate the heat that you do running. And now your clothes are wet because you didn't shed them. You didn't shed your external layers at times when you were running with the wind and getting a little bit hotter. So now you're walking, you're not generating heat, and your clothes are wet. And then you would say, oh, well, just run and you'll build up the heat. The problem is you can't run anymore because you're too tired. So you have no choice but to walk, and you just keep getting colder and colder and colder. And then the next thing you know, you're crumpled up on the side of the trail trying to take shelter in some bushes, and somebody is running along to the next aid station to say that there's a runner, you, suffering from hypothermia on the side of the course, so they need to come get you. And that is why you take off layers, so that you don't start sweating. I've seen it backpacking up the top of a mountain where we were climbing up for hours, and somebody that was with us was wearing all these layers, and they ended up soaking their base layers full of sweat, because we're climbing up to like 12,000 feet, and it was very cold on top. And then they went into hypothermia at the top, because at the top you stop. That's where our campground was. And then they had to be pulled off the mountain and go home. So it sucks. Anyway, interesting little tidbit of info. All right, we'll be back. What mile are we on? 6.5. Just chilling. It's really pretty. Took off this second pair of gloves and the beanie hat, and they're stowed in the back, and I've got the zipper undone on my running vest to ventilate, so I don't build up too much heat and get my layers all cold with sweat. Bye. All right, we did it. 10 miles at freezing to just a little bit above freezing. All the shedding of the layers was really nice, and especially nice because I biked yesterday in the cold. I think it was like 58 miles or something, gravel, and got upset stomach really bad. So it seems to be all worked out of my system. Oh yeah, I did about 300 calories for this run today. And yeah, so let's go in. Might bike on the train a little bit this afternoon. Might not. We'll see. Got freeze coming, so got to do some house prep.